Perfect for SEC softball here on the SEC Network. The Missouri Tigers hosting the Northern Iowa Panthers out of the Missouri Valley Conference. My name's Randy Molman, Brooke Wilmus alongside. And Brooke, the Tigers have struggled in the SEC, a slow start in conference play this year. It's just been a rough start at 1-8 after a tough weekend in Auburn.
It hasn't been their best start on the year compared to seasons in the past, but they are starting to find ways to get more runs up on the board. In the last few weekends, they haven't had those big wins. They're only 1-8 in SEC play, but they're looking to come out in this midweek and get that good victory against the UNI Panthers.
And in the standings, they are in last place. However, you know, they say it's better to be lucky than good. But Missouri hasn't even been lucky this year.
They haven't. They've had quite a few games where they have lost in the bottom of the 7th inning or in extra innings just by 1 run. The latest coming this Monday against the Auburn Tigers when Denver Bryant hit a walk-off single to get the Auburn Tigers a win underneath their belts against the Missouri Tigers, and they got that 2-1 victory.
That's the 5th time the Tigers have lost in walk-off fashion this season. And they're 1-6 all away from home. In those losses in 1-run games.
They haven't found a lot of success in those away games so far. They are continuing to lose by 1-2 runs when they have those opportunities to get the victory underneath their belts, but they haven't found a way to pull it off in the end. And they're not going to face a very easy lineup today in the Northern Iowa Panthers, led by Alex Pipillo, who has been their spark plug this year. She is their catcher behind the plate, replacing Emmy Wells, the MVC Player of the Year from last year. She leads the team in batting average, but she's done a very nice job of stepping up in that role, replacing Emmy Wells.
And a true freshman stepping in for Emmy Wells, and that is a tall order, big shoes to fill. For the Tigers, it's Jordan Weber, and 13 games, 12 starts this year, 5-5 on the season, a 3.83 earned run average. But she pitched really well in game 1 against Auburn, didn't she?
She did. She kept the Auburn Tigers off balance quite a few. She hasn't started a ton of midweek games. Coach Anderson feels like this is a must-win situation for the Missouri Tigers after getting swept again this weekend by Auburn.
It'll be Kylie Sanders, Alexis Papillo, and Madison Parks for Northern Iowa, who's won 17 of their last 20 games. Brooke, that's a pretty good winning percentage.
We said it in the open. The UNI Panthers have done a great job this year. They didn't come out the strongest at the beginning of the year, but they found their rhythm, and they're doing a great job winning 17 of those last 20 games. They're really starting to find their rhythm, especially in conference play.
Now, they have faced 3 Power 5 teams this year, two of those games against Iowa State early in the season during their opening season 6-game losing streak. They did also lose to Georgia Tech, but they'll get Missouri here today, and it is a 1-2 count now on Sanders. Jordan Weber had jumped out 0-2. Swing and a foul back. Sanders has struck out 11 times this year and walked 13 times. That's really ideal for a leadoff hitter, isn't it?
And a leadoff hitter is one of those people that just gets on any type of way that they can. Kylie Sanders has done a great job in this position so far. She'll walk, she'll get on base by hits, hit by pitches, anyway, and then when she does get on, maybe she'll steal a few bases when she gets the chance.
Fouled it into the stands, third base side. We'll do it again, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sanders. Sanders swinging from the left side. Northern Iowa, after their 6-0 start in the MVC, hey, they have to be considered a favorite to win that conference, right?
Absolutely, and you can see it right here. We had our leadoff batter, Sanders, was not missing on those balls by Jordan Weber, and she lined out hard to left field. That is a great first at bat for UNI to see, and she got all of that driving it out to left field.
She did, hit it hard, but there's Shantice Phillips. How about Shantice Phillips? This season, how about the defense?
Shantice Phillips has been that great replacement from what it has been from last year, being Cassidy Shomo. She's made these SEC or ESPN top plays, and it's been amazing to see this year. We saw it last weekend against Auburn when she made that bobbling play and ended up getting the double play as well.
And here's Papillo. We talked about her at the top. True freshman hitting .338, 6 homers to lead the team, 22 RBIs, and There's the chances there for Shantice. Boy, what a start for her defensively.
And coming from last year where you had a 2022 Rawlings Gold Glove winner in Cassidy Shomo, that's going to be some hard shoes to fill. But Shantice Phillips has done a great job when she's gotten that opportunity. She's really solidified that left field spot for herself.
She's wearing the shades. She looks cool doing it. Here's the next. Up and away, 1-2. The Tigers overall defensively, really good defense this year for Missouri. Shading in center field is Honnold into left center a little bit, facing Papillo. 1-2 pitch, she rips it, but hit the top of the ball, grounded and foul first base side.
Coach Anderson always talks about how a strong defense is one that'll win championships. And we see it again this year with this Missouri team. They are very, very sound defensively. A .980 fielding percentage, which is second in the SEC and ranked 19th in the nation. So this is one that when a ball is put in play, pitchers can rely on their defenders, mainly because they know that it's going to be done.
Coach Anderson led Missouri to that super regional in 2021. Very successful here so far in Columbia.
And in that 2021 super regional run, Northern Iowa was actually in the regional here before, so they have played here before, and they know what to expect from this crowd, from this atmosphere. So there's a lot of people that know what on the UNI team that know what it's like to play here.
Count is full now on Papillo. She's walked 14 times this year. Here's the pitch, fouls it back, stays alive. And Northern Iowa head coach Ryan Jacobs, very complimentary of Coach Anderson in terms of, last year they drove through, I guess, to head down to play a game and had to stop along the way and reached out to Coach Anderson. Coach Anderson let them practice at the Mizzou facility and everything. So you love to see that. You love to hear good things from other coaches about Mizzou.
That's just the connection that coaches have throughout the whole nation in just D1 softball and just softball in general. There's been multiple games that have been played here that aren't Missouri's games, but also they will lend a hand whenever needed, and whenever you can get an opportunity to practice on a big field like this, Coach Jacobs would take that opportunity.
Strike three call. Papillo check swing. That's a punch out for Jordan Weber.
Jordan Weber comes back with a changeup on the outside corner, and Papillo just cannot hold on. What a great pitch on 3-2 from Jordan Weber. Great job getting that changeup across early in the game as well.
Center fielder now, Madison Parks to the plate. Wide open stance from the left side, crowding the plate. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Weber blows it past Parks. 2 down, nobody on. Top of the first inning here in Columbia. Beautiful day here in mid-Missouri. Strike 2, chest high fastball. Home plate umpire Susan Eads. Over at third, it's Kevin Wallace. Down at first, Chelsea Clark. Umpires here today. No balls, 2 strikes now. Here's the pitch from Weber, swing and foul back. So far, what I am noticing is that every hitter so far that has come up to the plate, they are really good at defending strike 2. They have fouled off quite a few pitches here in this first inning.
Yes, they have. It doesn't seem like Northern Iowa is very fooled by the Jordan Weber rise ball that seems to get quite a few hitters here and there, but Northern Iowa has done a great job so far at eliminating that pitch and making sure that they're fouling it off to see another pitch.
That one just missed, 1-2. Weber, the 5'8" senior from Lee's Summit. In Missouri, that ball's high, 2-2. Fans getting a little riled up, ready for a punch out here. A lot of UNI fans in the crowd today. Tap back to Weber. Backhands it, throws across. 1, 2, 3. Go the Panthers in the top of the first. We go to the bottom half. No score here in Columbia.
Get all your faves like an order of small fries for just a few bucks. Only on the McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu.
The show-stopping BMW i4 is electricity in its most powerful form. A perfect fusion of iconic handling and cutting-edge sophistication. With a range of up to 300 miles and the power of over 500 horses stampeding at a whisper. It's 100% electric and 100% BMW. BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine. Build your own all-electric BMW i4 today.
Senior right-hander Kalen Packard in the circle for Northern Iowa here today from Beloit, Wisconsin. Stands 5'5". What a season she's having. 1.98 earned run average, 7-3. This is her 14th start. 75 strikeouts in 63 2/3.
And Packard has a lot of experience being here. Talking before, she was in the 2021 regional when the UNI Panthers came down here to face Missouri, and she was that main pitcher. She knows what to expect from this field and what to expect from this team.
First pitch coming. Strike to Jenna Laird. For Missouri, it'll be Jenna Laird, Alex Honnold, Julia Crenshaw, Kara Daly, Maddie Gallagher, Katie Chester, Riley Frizzell, Shantice Phillips, and Peyton Jackson. That pitch misses outside, 1-1.
Where Missouri's success has came a lot this year has come from these 1 and 2 hitters in Jenna Laird and Alex Honnold. They have been the most consistent, and they have been the ones that have been getting on base, usually scoring all of those RBIs. So look for a big day for the two of them if Missouri wants to get a win.
Strike 2 looking, 1-2. Laird and Honnold, they've been great all year, but versus Auburn, they struggled. 2 for 17 combined with just 1 extra base hit over the weekend.
And we don't really see that from the two of them. Usually they're on, they see all of the pitches, but it seemed this weekend the Auburn Tigers just seemed to have their number. The Auburn Tigers decided to eliminate Jenna Laird and Alex Honnold, and because of that, the offense didn't really spark very much this weekend.
Check swing tap foul, still 1-2. Next pitch on its way from Packard to Laird inside, missed, and it is 2-2. Laird hitting .391, 4 doubles, 2 triples, 23 RBIs, and a .485 on base percentage. Her walk to strikeout ratio 16-8.
And we say that they're struggling, but she's still batting .390 with a .485 on-base percentage. So, yeah, she might have had an off weekend, but she still is the spark plug and the leader for this team. She just had one bad weekend, and you can't fault that for her. She is human, after all.
Payoff pitch coming from Packard to Laird. Rips a single to right field. Maybe 2 if she's hustling. She'll hold up at first. But a leadoff hit right off the hands for Jenna Laird.
Jenna Laird, again, getting that spark going for the Missouri Tigers. She does lead this team also in stolen bases, so look for her to go maybe on the first couple of pitches. But she hasn't been thrown out very much. Again, only once this year. She gets those good leads, gets that good jump, and steals these bases extremely easily.
She is the SEC leader, the team leader, and the number 2 hitter today, Alex Honnold, who's at the plate, has stolen 15 of 16. So we'll see if Honnold can get on base and the Tigers do a little running. There's a drive, deep left field, back at the wall, it is gone! Alex Honnold, first pitch swinging, a 2-run blast.
Can you ask for anything more from your 1 and 2 hitters? Your 1 hitter gets a single, gets a long at bat to go, and then your 2nd hitter, your leader on the team this year, and Alex Honnold, gets a pitch over the middle of the plate and absolutely crushes this ball to opposite field. What a great piece of hitting. We didn't see that last weekend from the two of them. This is a good start for Alex Honnold and Jenna Laird and the Missouri Tigers getting up on the board, on the board early.
What a nice, easy swing driving it the opposite way.
I've said it once, I'll say it again. She's not going to be flashy. She is one of those players that has such a simple and easy swing, but it gets the job done. It's not going to be one of those that she's going to hit it out every single time, get a double, but she'll find a way to get it past those defenders on any team that she's playing against.
It's as if those two heard us say, oh, we struggled at Auburn? Okay, well, we're going to come out and make something happen.
You know how they talk about the announcer's curse? We might have just done that for them
In a
the
good way,
opposite direction.
Exactly. It's 2-0 on Julia Crenshaw, and hey, we might as well keep this curse going. Crenshaw, the sophomore, has been struggling of late. Just 4 for her last 39, but still hitting in that number 3 hole, still has the confidence of Coach Anderson.
She does, and she started off the year very, very strong. She started at the end of the lineup, actually to start at the beginning of the year, got moved up to this 3 hole, but ever since she's been in the 3 hole, it seemed like she's just been struggling. The last 13 games, only a 103 batting average with 9 Ks. That's not really what you want from the 3 batter, but she's trying to find that what's going to help her turn it around to get back in that good position to score those RBIs in front of her from Jenna Laird and Alex Honnold.
So the ball in the dirt, 3-1 on Crenshaw. Waiting on deck, Kara Daly, who last Wednesday here at home went off 4 RBIs, a home run and a double. Here's the 3-1. Pumped in there for a strike, full count. Crenshaw doing the catching today for the Tigers. Packard has allowed this year a 1.98 earned run average and has already given up 2 runs here in the bottom of the first. Pop up right side, foul territory. Second baseman ranged over but couldn't make the catch. That was Hogan. It drops harmlessly, and now let's see if Crenshaw can make her pay.
Hogan just didn't quite seem like she had the best beat on the ball when she went over. She was there in plenty of time, but then she went to go down and catch it underneath instead of actually putting her glove up to catch it, which I think that might have thrown her off a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes you get caught in that zone. Do I make the catch regularly or do a basket catch while I'm on the run? Sometimes you get in your head. You can't make that decision last minute. Crenshaw draws a walk, so still nobody out. Tigers have a base runner, and it's Crenshaw at first. Kara Daly at the plate for Missouri, 278, 7 homers, 30 RBIs. 3 Tigers with 7 home runs, but she leads the Tigers now with 30 RBIs.
I feel like Kara Daly has come on a ton in this later half of the season. As I say later half, they're only about halfway through the games, but the beginning of the season, she wasn't quite on it. She was having those struggling at bats, but now it seems like she's way more consistent and she feels comfortable in the box. We asked her about this actually last Wednesday, what the change has been, and she just told us that her and the hitting coach, Coach Cottrell, have found a way to make her feel more comfortable in the box. She's not trying to overthink it, and she's just trying to do her natural swing that she's used to.
It's a 939 OPS for Daly. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and Packard gets the strikeout.
Packard coming back here with that outside pitch again that Kara Daly didn't quite get caught up to last time. Right here you see Kaylin Packard's awards through her whole season, 2021, 2022, first team all MVC. It's been amazing to see her career after her transferring from UMKC, where she played there for a couple years, and then the next few years she came back to UNI, where she's had a ton of success.
That's a hit by pitch. Gallagher is plunked, although it didn't really plunk her. It just sort of scraped the wrist and went in foul territory. Gallagher didn't even move.
No, she did not, but that is why she has those protections on the elbow and on her foot, is because when she does get hit there, it doesn't cause as less drama. It might have sounded a little bit louder than it needed to be, but she's completely protected with that elbow guard.
4th time this year she's been hit. Tigers 2 on, 1 out. Strike on the outside corner. At the plate for Missouri, it is Katie Chester, Missouri first baseman, standing in from the right side. 2 homers, 7 RBIs this year. Ooh, she took a little off. Nice pitch over the outside corner.
Coach Jacobs talked about how Packard changes speeds a lot. Any type of count, she will throw that off speed and that changeup. We saw it there on an 0-1 pitch. She is now ahead 0-2 just because of the great location of her off-speed pitch.
Next one coming. Ooh, that curved outside. She's got a lot of movement, Packard does, and that's what Coach Jacobs was telling us. She's a little different than their other ace, Samantha Heyer. They have 2 aces on this team. Heyer is more throws the same type of pitch, but with different speeds. Packard's got a little bit more of an arsenal.
She does. She has that curveball, a little bit of a rise ball with her changeup, which she throws a ton, but she's right now keeping these Missouri batters off balance, mainly because she is working that outside corner on both her curveball and her changeup.
Here's the 2-2 with 2 runners on, 1 out. That's a changeup that missed and floated outside. It's a full count now on Chester. Good eye. Chester looking to drive in Missouri's 3rd run. They already lead 2-0, bottom of the first.
We talked about the struggles at the bottom of the lineup for the Missouri Tigers. If Chester could come up here and get that base hit, it would give her a lot of confidence, but you see Packard coming back there with that curveball in the outside corner that Chester cannot catch up to. What a great pitch by Packard to get out of this situation with less damage than already has been done.
That's tough because that's over the outside corner and so close. You've got to swing at it, but it's a perfect location from Northern Iowa's hurler, Kaylin Packard. That one misses outside to Riley Frizzell. Frizzell, the designated player today for Missouri, the junior, hitting .229, 13 runs batted in. She is set, so is Packard. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
I think this situation is going to be really big for the Missouri offense to tell how they're going to be able to go into this weekend. Obviously, we have Jenna Laird and Alex Honnold who leads this team and have already gotten those 2 runs up from them, but they need more production from the bottom of the lineup. This is a great situation for one of these players to step up and show that they can actually get a run across, that they deserve to be in this lineup. They're still trying to find the right combinations, the right people at the bottom of their lineup, and they just haven't quite found that yet.
Chester had a chance. She struck out. Frizzell at the plate now, 1-2. Here comes the pitch. Missed outside, 2-2. Laird singled, Honnold homered. The Tigers lead 2-0. 2 outs, bottom of the first. Swing and a miss, and Packard comes back with 2 strikeouts. She actually struck out the side around giving up those 2 runs. Alex Honnold put the Tigers on top here in the bottom of the first with a 2-run blast, and Brooke, she destroyed it.
She got a hold of this one outside part of the plate, does not miss on this pitch, drags it. What 1 for 8 this weekend. Alex Honnold comes back and shows us that she deserves to be in that 2-hole.
Get all your faves like an order of small fries for just a few bucks. Only on the McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu.
You see, we are all connected through the holy body.
Christ! Major Krauser? Why? You can't save her. You can't save anyone.
What's gonna happen to me?
We gotta keep moving forward. We will beat this. Together.
Thanks.
Alex Honnold put Missouri on top 2-0. In the bottom of the first inning, we head to the top of the second. Tigers facing Northern Iowa here today out of the Missouri Valley Conference. And for the Panthers, it'll be their cleanup hitter, Maya Dodge. And then Hannah Kelly, the designated player, and Taylor Hogan, the Panthers' second baseman, coming up. Dodge, Coach Jacobs talked about Maya Dodge starting the year as their leadoff hitter and then had to miss a couple of games. They shuffled the lineup a little bit, found that Sanders did such a good job in Dodge's absence that they could now put Dodge in that cleanup hole, driving in runs.
Absolutely, and when you start off in that leadoff position, it's a lot different from being in the 4-hole. Your job as a leadoff batter is to just get on base any possible way that you can. But Maya Dodge didn't seem to be quite fitting that role that Coach Jacobs was talking about, but instead she's now in that 4-hole position with the ability to drive in more runs for the UNI Panthers.
She has 13 extra base hits, counts now 1-1, 6 doubles, 3 triples, 4 homers, leads the team with 23 RBIs, leads the team in slugging percentage. And so Coach Jacobs was talking about how, seemed to make the right move. This Maya Dodge has really stepped up as the cleanup hitter. Rips a ball fair into the left field corner. She'll round first and cruise into second with a stand-up double to start the second inning for Northern Iowa.
Maya Dodge gets a pitch out over the plate. I believe Jordan Weber might have missed her spot here just a little bit. Maya Dodge does a great job staying inside of the ball and getting this right inside of the line, slipping it in for a double down the line.
So Northern Iowa will send up Hannah Kelly, the designated player. Kelly hitting .324, 13 RBIs. Right-handed hitting senior. Squares to bunt, it's foul, back to the screen.
What a response from UNI, though. The Tigers come out in the bottom of the first inning, score those 2 runs, and then we have Packard who comes back, gets those big 3 strikeouts. You start this next inning with a leadoff double. If they can push a run here across, they might have that confidence back in there and be like, hey, we are in this game. We are not quite out of it yet, but it all obviously comes with, it's not as easy as we say it is up here.
Ball missed inside there, 1-1. Yeah, I mean, as much as you start off the game by giving up the 2-run homer, but then come back with a little momentum with the strikeouts, that gets your offense going to come back in that top of the second.
And you can kind of see it when Packard walked off the field. She kind of was like, yeah, okay, now I'm settled into this game. I might have had a little bit of jitters coming in, facing 2 of the best hitters in the SEC, and they come out, they get those base hits, get the home run off you, but then she really settled in, and you can kind of see it as she walked off. She's like, yep, all right, I'm in this game now. Like, she had that swagger back to her.
Swing and a high, deep fly ball to left. Phillips into the corner, but it's a home run foul. It goes over the fence and out of play for Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa in the Missouri Valley so far, 6-0. They've scored 8 runs a game in Valley play, an OPS of 887, but look at how many runs they've scored, Brooke. 48 runs, 48-3 in MVC play.
And that just shows you how much their offense is sparking and actually connecting right now. But then on top of that, having that 1-2 punch in the circle as well, it's impressive to see that they are outscoring their opponents by 45 runs.
In fact, in their last 4 MVC games, they've scored 41 runs, over 10 runs a game. Heading into this one here this afternoon. There's a strikeout of Kelly, and now Hogan stands in. Looks at a strike at the knees. Great pitch by Weber coming from left to right on that knee-high fastball. Runner on at second. 1 out for the Panthers. Reaching, popped it up on the infield. Ranging over is the shortstop Laird, 2 down.
Great response from Jordan Weber so far. She starts off with that leadoff double hit off of her, but she really settles down, gets the strikeout in the infield pop-up. She has to keep working, though. Just because she's gotten those 2 outs does not mean this inning is over yet.
Brooke Snyder will stand in, 274 hitter, 6 doubles, 5 home runs this year. But you're right. I mean, even the great pitcher on the other side, Packard, gave up the hit then the home run. Weber has not given up back-to-back hits.
She has not.
After
and
the leadoff double.
that's what makes a great pitcher great, is making sure that she doesn't give up those back-to-back-to-back hits, but instead just spreads them out through the entire game and keeps hitters off balance. She had that double given off her, so what? It happens. You're never going to be able to strike everybody out, but Jordan Weber has done a great job at making sure she responds back with a strikeout and infield pop-up to limit the damage that has already happened.
It's 0-2 on Snyder. Foul back to the screen. Do it again. Runner on at second. 2 down. Missed outside. 1-2. You like to talk about competitive pitches when you're ahead in the count. That was a little too far outside to be competitive, as you saw Snyder did not offer at that pitch.
Absolutely, but the one before that might not have been as competitive as it was too much on the plate. So I like the idea that Jordan Weber just had there of maybe just getting her a little bit farther off the plate, making her make her think like, oh, where's this next pitch going to be? She comes high and inside too, very close to being a strike. But so far, I like that one compared to the one that was before.
2-2 on Snyder. Reaching, popped up into center. Ranging over to make the catch is the Missouri center fielder. That is Arnold. After 1.5, Missouri leads 2-0.
Her name is Kendry. She just turned 19 months old today. She is awesome. I asked my mom if she would come down here and live with me. Only did I kind of put a pause to my life, but she also put a pause to her life.
2-0 Missouri as we head to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Tigers. Shantice Phillips, Peyton Jackson, and Jenna Laird. First pitch to Phillips is a strike. Phillips has already made a sliding catch in left field here today, the junior from Kansas City, hitting .254, 10 RBIs. Rips one fair down the third baseline into the corner. Phillips will cruise into second for a stand-up double. That's a good way to start.
You love to see that from the bottom of this Missouri lineup. It's right there. She gets a great pitch over the middle of the plate, drives it down that third baseline, gets on base. They haven't had very much success, like we've talked about all before, from the bottom of the lineup. You'd love to see that from Shantice Phillips, so that can then translate over to your big hitters in Jenna Laird and Alex Arnold.
And Peyton Jackson had a nice series against Auburn. She stands in from the left side. Squares the bunt, pulls back, ball one.
And Peyton Jackson has really came on in these last couple of weekends of finding good pitches and driving them. She had that solo home run against Auburn in the third game, that the only offense that ended up coming from the Missouri Tigers. She has come on as that spark plug in that 9-hole, trying to get this bunt down right now so then she can go over to the top of the lineup.
And the ball gets away. You got to make a play. A run will score. Sacrifice is good. Error by the pitcher. Or was it the third baseman that fielded it? I think it was the third baseman for Northern Iowa, number 6, Snyder, who threw it away. And so, like you said, lay down the bunt, but you never know. With that speed, they've got to rush that throw. That's a great play. Let's watch the play here again.
Exactly, causing havoc, and that is what this Missouri lineup needs to do, put the ball in play. Peyton Jackson has some speed. We don't see the best throw from Snyder over there. Because of that, gets into right field, ends up scoring a run, and Snyder is on second base.
So a sacrifice and an error. Jackson now at second base, and now Laird is hit. So the Tigers have 2 runners on again, nobody out. Second time a Tiger has been plunked by Packard. Packard this year has hit 7 batters coming in, now 8 and 9 here today in 2 innings.
And they weren't even close, too. They were really, really far on the plate, just lost a hold of that, of both of them when they hit the batter.
Tigers threatening double steal here, getting a feel for it down at second base was Jackson. She went almost halfway down the baseline between second and third.
This is not the ideal situation for UNI right now. You have your home run hitter facing off against Kaylin Packard, who has already seen her. But because of that, it might be a worse situation now that we have runners on second and third from that fake bunt steal with Alex Honnold up. So they have to make that decision. Are they going to attack her, or are they actually going to go after the next batter in Julia Crenshaw?
They had Jackson, but the throw was in the dirt from the catcher, Papillo. But a double steal for Missouri. You know, we talked about that before the game, Brooks. That's now 70 steals for the Tigers this year. Something
that the Tigers have not done in years past is steal a ton of bases. You have your top 2 at the lineup with quite a few stolen bases. I don't know off the top of my head how many, but too many for me to count, obviously. Now Peyton Jackson getting in on the fun, too. It's great to see that the Missouri hitters and base runners getting these extra bases.
I think Coach Anderson, I think you're seeing a little bit more aggressiveness on the base pass because of what we've talked about. The lineup has struggled somewhat. And so trying to create more offense and manufacture more runs.
Absolutely. When you have runners that are quick and have that great first step, then that is when you get those stolen bases. They are really, really well and good at doing small ball this year. They lead the SEC in sack bunts, stolen bases 70, and they also have the SEC stolen base leader in Jenna Laird, and they draw a ton of walks as well too.
So they have manufactured another scoring opportunity here in the bottom of the second, already a run across, and their best run producer at the plate, runners on second and third. Here's the 2-0 from Packard, high 3-0. And it looks as if the UNI bullpen is starting to get active. 3 balls, no strikes on Honnold. They'll be careful here with a base open. Waiting on deck is Crenshaw, who has struggled of late. Ball 4. I didn't think they would give Honnold a lot to work with there, especially after the double steal and a 2-0 count.
You have to think there, did the pitching coach come out and be like, hey, we're going to intentionally walk Alex Honnold there?
Right.
If I was the pitching coach in that situation, I wouldn't even put anything close to the zone with how Alex Honnold has been hitting recently.
Crenshaw is 4 for her last 39. However, she did draw a walk, reached base in the first. This is the type of at-bat, Brooke, that can end a slump and get you on a tear, right? Bases loaded, nobody out. You convert here. Who knows what happens after that?
This is where one of the situations where if you get one over the plate, you are swinging out of your shoes. And there's nothing else that you can do wherever the ball goes. But Julia Crenshaw has really not had her best at-bats of recently. But this is a great situation for her, being in that 3-hole, bases loaded, to try and get a few runs across.
Swinging a high fly ball, right field side, is caught by the second baseman in foul territory. Jackson tags. She will score. And a sacrifice fly for Crenshaw. And that pushes another run across for Missouri.
You love to see that. Try and get a run across anyway. Peyton Jackson does a great job of tagging. And yes, the second baseman might have caught it, but she caught it all the way out in right field. That makes it a harder throw for her. She makes sure as soon as she catches it, she takes off. And when that happens, Jenna Laird then moves up to third base as well.
So first and third, 1 out. And Crenshaw comes through with a sacrifice fly. Here's the first pitch coming to Daly. Way outside, ball gets away. Here comes the runner, and she is going to be safe at home. And a hook slide at third, but she's out over there. Honnold tagged out. Laird somehow avoided the tag at home plate.
What a slide by Jenna Laird. She goes into home plate and she does a swim move over the catcher's glove. What a slide to get. The ball bounces off so hard and the catcher, Papillo, decides to take it herself, but she swims over that tag to get her hand in to be safe.
Look at that, right over the glove. I mean, that was as quick. I mean, wow, what a slide by Laird. And I think they're going to review it. So the umpires, yeah, look, if I'm Northern Iowa, I ask for a review just to make sure.
So I actually think both coaches are asking for a review. Northern Iowa is asking for the play at home, and then Missouri is asking for the play at third base. So if anything happens and both of these are turned over, that would be a great call by both of these coaches.
Boy, a lot of action here early. Tigers already up 4-0. But it was a wild pitch. I mean, the ball was way out of the zone past Papillo, and she played it perfectly off the wall. We were talking about Missouri's base running, but how about Papillo gathering herself, fielding it perfectly off the wall, and getting herself in position to make that tag?
And not only that, but eliminating the toss to your pitcher. That is a great job by Papillo, making sure that she doesn't put her pitcher Packard in danger by giving there a toss, but instead she makes that full out effort. Ooh, that is so hard to see. Can't see from that angle. But again, remember, with these reviews, it has to be indisputable evidence to turn it over. The call on the field was safe, so if they don't have video evidence to turn that over, they have to stick with what is on the field.
From that angle, I don't think you can turn it over. I don't see how you can turn that over. However, can you see her tag the body before Laird puts the hand down? So that's the other.
Is that something you can see on video review, though? That is the only thing that you have to think about is if they don't have 100% certainty that it is one way or the other, it has to say with one on the field.
So here's another look. Let's see if we can see. The tag and where. So the glove is on the ground, the hand goes over, and so the tag on the top of the leg there. From that angle, it looks like they may be able to turn it over. I don't know. That is close. So close.
I'm just glad to say that I'm glad I'm not watching this review because I don't even know what I would call on this play.
I mean, from that angle, and that's a great angle by our camera crew, it does look like she may have gotten her at the top of her hip right there, right before the hand hits the plate. But again, to your point, is it indisputable evidence?
And then we also have to think about the play at third base, in which Missouri is challenging that with Alex Honnold being out. So there are two that they are reviewing right now, one for Missouri and one for UNI. We will see, I guess, we're going to get an answer, hopefully, to all of this craziness here soon.
Aside from waiting for this call to come back, we talked about Missouri's doing a really good job manufacturing runs. Yes, she got the the two-run homer in the first. And here comes the umpire, the home plate umpire. That is Susan Eads. At home, she's out. So Jenna Laird is out. At third, she's out, and that'll end the inning. Both calls go against Missouri. Coach Anderson is standing in disbelief. She can't believe it, but that'll end the second inning. Oh my, both calls, the one at third not overturned, the one at home plate overturned. We've played two full in Columbia. What a game so far, 4-0 Missouri.
Get all your faves like an order of small fries for just a few bucks. Only on the McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Over here. Kev, can I get a response to the trade rumors?
Trade. Trades means moving, man. We talking about moving? Moving means contractors, inspectors, strangers judging my carpet. What we talking about, staging? We talking about a faux ficus. A faux ficus. Nobody's gonna bring a faux ficus into my house.
You could use Open Door, sell your house directly to them. It's easy.
I guess we're moving.
Kev.
What you gonna ask me about next, man? Practice?
We head to the top of the third inning, and boy, we had some excitement in the bottom of the second. Jenna Laird was advancing to home plate on a wild pitch that caromed back to the Northern Iowa catcher, Papillo, who dove at home plate to get Laird, then stood up, fired to third, and got Honnold trying to advance on the wild pitch. Also, a very rare and weird double play to end the second inning.
Not only that, but a very rare double challenge by both of the coaches on one play. I don't think I've ever seen that before since the review started coming into play a few years ago.
So Northern Iowa now comes to bat. The Tigers did get 2 runs. Shantice Phillips started the inning with a double, and then a sacrifice and a throwing error brought her home, and then a sacrifice fly by Crenshaw. Ooh, that missed off the outside corner. I thought that painted the black there. 2-0. This is Sammy Moss, the right fielder. Then it'll be Darren Lamprecht, the number 9 hitter, first baseman, and back to the top with Kylie Sanders for Northern Iowa. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Well, a foul back to the screen makes it 2-1. Jordan Weber so far, 2 strikeouts and only allowed 1 hit.
Jordan Weber isn't a pitcher that's going to strike a ton of people out. A lot of the times balls are put in play with her, but it's usually weak contact, like ground balls or pop flies. She's done a great job so far this game, making sure that she's going inside, outside, off speed to all of these Northern Iowa hitters, and a good Northern Iowa lineup in that as well.
And especially, you talked about the defense earlier. When you have a defense behind you, attack the zone and let your defense get your outs for you.
Especially one that is second in the SEC in fielding percentage. You have no worries whatsoever when that ball is put in play.
In the dirt, bounces back to the screen, so a full count now on Moss. Moss 171, 8 RBIs for Northern Iowa this year. Tigers lead 4-0, 4 runs on 3 hits for Missouri. High pop-up on the infield. Kara Daly calls for it and makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down here in the 3rd. That'll bring in Darren Lamprecht for Northern Iowa. And now the umpires are going to huddle once again, and I don't know what this is for. On a high pop-out.
The only thing that comes to mind for me right now is there could have possibly been an illegal pitch against Jordan Weber that would bring the batter back in to the batter's box, but I don't want to make any inferences.
Yeah, right. I mean, the only thing I can think of in instances like this is that, or was there a catcher's interference? Did she glaze Crenshaw's glove? I have no idea. But I just don't understand. That play seemed rather harmless, right?
What I would give to have a microphone.
we you know, the SEC does do the mic'd up Mondays. I would like full-time mic'd up, right? Let's do a full-time.
With all of the umpires too, so we know exactly what they are saying.
So they're going to talk it over with both coaches now. Boy, we've had a lot of some odd happenings here on this Wednesday.
And on top of that, it's only the 3rd inning.
I know. Jordan Weber will stay loose, throw some pitches. Let's see if there's anything we can see here. I'm watching Crenshaw's glove. Nope, didn't touch the glove.
From what I see, Jordan Weber did have a little bit of air underneath her foot, which would then be an illegal pitch.
But I don't see a base runner coming back out. So I wonder if this was called. Let's see if you can see anything here.
Yep, her back foot gets a little bit of air underneath it, which was a problem this weekend for Jordan Weber and Lauren Krangs. They both had a few illegal pitches called against them at the beginning of both of those games, which then came back and hurt them a couple times. But it doesn't seem like anything is coming about from this, so I guess the game is just moving on.
So Lamprecht in with 1 out here in the 3rd. First pitch, a ball. I feel like maybe Coach Jacobs called for that meeting. you know, after you see the review, because he was having a long conversation with that third base umpire afterwards. So I wonder if he said something to that umpire about the possible illegal pitch. Here's the 1-0, misses 2-0.
That is something coaches often do a lot, is if they think something that the pitcher is doing is illegal, to put it in the umpire's ear first, like, hey, watch that she has a little air underneath her foot is stepping forward or something like that. So it just gets in the umpire's mind, so then they have to start thinking about it and possibly make the call.
There's a fly ball to left. Phillips ranges to the track and makes the one-handed grab, 2 down. Standing in now, the leadoff hitter for Northern Iowa. That is Kylie Sanders, who hit a line drive to left that Phillips made a sliding catch on to start the game. But she hit it on the nose. Weber at 46 pitches here in this top of the third. First pitch, a strike. That's one of the things we've noticed so far today as well, is she is not falling behind hitters. She's getting ahead.
One of the best things that Coach Anderson can ask for from her pitchers is making sure that she is getting ahead in the count, not working from behind to where the batter has an advantage, but instead she has the advantage to pitch then whatever she wants.
0-2 now on the leadoff hitter, Sanders. Sanders, a .282 hitter, .446 on base percentage. The top 5 batters in this lineup came in all over 400 in on base percentage. Honnold a diving, oh, and she couldn't come up with the catch. What an effort by Honnold in center.
Just seemed like her glove got a little bit stuck underneath her when she went for that dive. So instead of going straight out, her hand stopped a little bit, which then in turn turned her glove over, so she couldn't quite get that grab.
We talked about this earlier. Are you at a spot right there where right at the end of that play, are you turning your glove over to try to make a basket catch? You know what I mean? Like, is that one of those in your head at the last second you're trying to figure out what to do?
People ask those questions all the time about what were you thinking in that situation. Honestly, there is no thinking.
Right.
It's all just reacting to whatever it was in this situation. I think Alex Honnold thought that was probably her best option.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, she'd be like, oh, I should have turned my glove, but it's not something that you're thinking about
Right.
in the moment for sure.
Here's Papillo. She struck out looking in the first. She crowds the plate from the left side. Here's the 0-1. Check swing, strike, outside corner. 0-2. Once again, Weber ahead, 0-2. This time on Papillo.
And with all the success that Papillo has had this year, she has also had quite a few strikeouts. She does have about 28 on the season, which does lead this team as well. So she has had her success with the base hits, but she has struck out quite a few times as well, too.
Fouled back into the stands. We'll do it again. There's a fan who comes up with the ball, but he kind of waited for it to hit the stands there.
Doesn't make the play. You come to a ball game, you got to get your hands out there, make that play. Maybe the only opportunity they got for that game.
He did come up with the ball, though, so we'll give him credit. Here's the 0-2 now. To Papillo. Swing and a high fly ball into left. Phillips is there, makes the catch in left field, and that ends the top of the third. We go to the bottom half, Missouri leading 4-0. New pitcher for Northern Iowa is the redshirt junior, the right-hander, number 2, Samantha Heyer, from Charles City, Iowa. Samantha Heyer has been dominant, Brooke.
Over her last 3 weeks, she has gotten 3 straight MVC pitchers of the week. 47 pitches, 47 innings pitched with a 1.49 ERA. She's going to come out and throw those that mid to upper 60. Will change a ton of speed. She doesn't have a ton of different pitches, but she makes sure to throw everything at all different types of speeds. That is what has given her so much success this year.
127 strikeouts in 80 1/3. There's a check swing grounder to second in her first pitch. She gets Kara Daly to ground out to second base, and there's 1 out. The pitch that we, when we studied a little bit of film here before the game, Brooke, the pitch we noticed about her that was so dominant was her drop ball.
Absolutely. She has a drop, and it almost seems like a rise combo as well. That thing falls off the table. Coach Jacobs talked about how she has different speeds on her different pitches. So her drop ball might be her fastest pitch, where her rise ball and then her changeup might also be a few mile an hour slower than what it would be for a drop ball.
Next pitch misses. It's 2-0. Higher this year. This is her 20th or 21st appearance, her 11th out of the bullpen. She's only allowed 51 hits in 80 1/3 innings this year. 2-0. That misses up and away. And just 22 walks as she falls behind here, 3-0. Only 22 walks in 80 1/3 innings. Opponents hitting 176 against Higher. Here's the 3-0. Strike outside corner, painted it, nice pitch. Daly grounded to second, Maddie Gallagher the hitter. Gallagher was hit by a pitch back in the first. Ball 4. Gallagher's now reached twice for Missouri. We've talked about Higher and their starter today, Packard. Look at those earned run averages, 1.98, 2.18. Opponent batting averages both below 220, and Higher's 176. Strikeouts per 7 innings, ridiculous. I mean, these two pitchers are going to get them through the MVC this year.
They are, and after a rough start to the season for the whole UNI team, they've really come out so far being led by this 1-2 punch in Packard and Higher. They've really led the charge for this UNI Panther team, especially in the circle, but also bringing that leadership aspect and keeping the Panthers in games to where their offense can then excel.
Chester struck out in the first, stands in here, 1-0 pitch coming. Right down the middle, 1-1. 208, 2 homers, 7 RBIs for Chester. Runner on at first, 1 out in the third for Missouri. They've scored 4 runs. Crooked numbers in the first and second for the Tigers. Swing and a miss. May have nicked it. Fouled it right into the catcher Papillo's glove. Outfielders deep and straight away for Chester. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and again, Chester strikes out with a runner on base in this game. And there's 2 down now. What a pitch here by Higher.
Higher was working outside that entire at-bat, and then she comes back in with this pitch and freezes Chester on that inside part of the plate. Great job by Higher coming back after giving up that 1-out walk.
This is Frizzell now. Frizzell struck out also in the first. Here's the next pitch, or the first pitch to Frizzell is a strike. And Higher works quickly, and much like Jordan Weber, she is around the zone with that first pitch. She wants to attack and get up early.
Absolutely, and Higher's done a great job, except for one batter so far this inning. She's getting that first pitch across as a strike.
0-1 coming. Missed, down and in. Frizzell wearing number 77. I often want to ask, ball 2, I often want to ask questions about the numbers. Why, like when your number was, remind everyone?
7.
7. What was the reason you picked number 7?
Funny story, actually. So my number all through high school is actually 17.
Okay.
And when I came here to Mizzou, they made us write down 3 options that we would want. So I said 17, 1, and 7. Obviously, because
all the combos.
Yeah. So 2 other freshmen got 17 and 1. So then I was stuck with 7. And I was like, oh, 7. Well, I think it worked out quite well in my favor. So I think I'm okay with it.
2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. And Higher ends the inning with 2 strikeouts of Chester and Frizzell.
umpire comes out and attacks these two batters, works inside, outside with that drop ball, comes back with this pitch right here, a little bit elevated in the zone, ends up getting right underneath Frizzell's bat for the last strikeout.
Missouri 4, Northern Iowa nothing. We head to the top of the 4th inning. For the Panthers, it'll be Parks, Dodge, and Kelly. 3, 4, and 5 in the Northern Iowa batting order facing Jordan Weber. Have a catcher Crenshaw and the home plate umpire Susan Eads having a conversation behind home plate. An extended conversation.
She's just trying to get some extra calls for her pitcher, you know? You gotta
grease the wheels a little bit.
Speed up the umpire just a little bit.
How about we speed this along, is what she said. Let's call those corners. There's a strike to Parks. Parks grounded to second in the first. Oh, and 1. Ball missed 1-1. Coach Larissa Anderson has to be happy with the way Mizzou's offense has hit today. They've left some runners on base, no doubt about that. However, they have been doing some things to manufacture base runners and runs.
They have, and they've gotten on a lot of free bases so far with walks and hit by pitches, maybe that leading off the inning, which then gives you a lot more momentum coming back from your team. Now they just have to find those 1-2 hitters that are just going to come up and get those base hits when there are runners in scoring position.
And when you have Weber, who's pitching as well as she is, this is the formula for the Tigers. Swing, or a looking strike 3 call on the outside corner. Wow, what a pitch by Weber.
And just like you were talking about before, Crenshaw gets this call. It's an outside low rise ball that Crenshaw gets right behind it, makes it look maybe a little bit better than it might have been, but she gets that call in the outside corner. Great job by Jordan Weber and Julia Crenshaw.
Crenshaw framed it beautifully. And that'll bring in Maya Dodge. Dodge, first pitch swinging, fouls it off. Maya Dodge doubled to start the second inning, was left stranded. She and Sanders have the 2 hits today for Northern Iowa. Dodge, 353, 4 homers, 23 RBI. She's also doubled 6 times, make it 7 after the 1 in the second inning, and tripled 3 times. We talked about it in her first at bat, started the season leading off and has been moved to the cleanup spot, and she has excelled in that spot. 1-1 pitch. Strike, good pitch from Weber, and Dodge knew it right away.
Those are one of those as a hitter, you're like, oh, why did I not swing at that pitch? And then you just keep thinking about it for the rest of the at-bat because you knew that's the one you should have swung at.
Here's the 1-2. Just missed low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Maya Dodge. Dodge is a sophomore from Hiawatha, Iowa. Count is now full. On the Panthers left fielder. Strike 3 call again. 2 straight strike 3 calls for Jordan Weber.
Jordan Weber, known as a rise ball pitcher, gets this drop ball actually down in the bottom part of the zone. Great job by Julia Crenshaw, again bringing that back up for a called 3rd strike.
So 2 down for Hannah Kelly. Kelly struck out back in the second. She's 0 for 1. Strike on the outside corner. Jordan Weber is locating about as well as she has all game right now here in this 4th inning.
She is. She's hitting these corners, not only the corners, but she's also hitting the top of the zone, bottom of the zone. She's really working everywhere. These UNI hitters really don't know what's coming next.
I mean, that's a weak swing, fouls it back to the screen, and it's 0-2 on Hannah Kelly. Missouri leads 4-0, top of the fourth. Off the end of the bat, popped up left side. Laird is there, and that ends the top of the fourth for Northern Iowa. We head to the bottom half. Missouri 4, UNI 0. These are our featured softball games for Saturday on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. The second games of their 3-game series. Number 13, Florida, squares off against South Carolina at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. And number 13, Alabama, takes on these Missouri Tigers, 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Should be good ones on the SEC Network and ESPN app coming up this weekend. For Missouri, it'll be Shantice Phillips, Peyton Jackson, and Jenna Laird, 8, 9, and 1. Phillips looks at a strike. Phillips doubled and scored in the second. This 8, 9, and 1 start produced a couple of runs back in the second inning. And this is what we've been looking for this season, is that bottom of the lineup turning it over with runners on base.
And it seems like the bottom of that lineup has done quite a good job so far of getting on base and turning it over to the top half of the lineup. It's the middle part of the lineup that still seems to be having their struggles.
Phillips fouled it down the first base side, caught by the second baseman. Tigers against Alabama this weekend, and Brooke, you played a lot against the Crimson Tide. Should be a very, very good matchup between these two. Very even statistically.
Absolutely, and we're going to come in seeing Montana Fouts off of Alabama, who's going to come up and pitch in that 70-mile-an-hour range with a really good rise ball and a really good drop ball. And then we're going to have our Missouri Tiger pitchers, who are very, very consistent, in Jordan Weber and Lauren Krings. They're going to come and they're going to get a ton of outs with balls put in play. It's going to be a really good matchup this weekend.
Tigers are 4-3 at home. They'll take on Alabama at home this weekend, hoping to go to 5-3 after today. Standing in on the left side, it's Peyton Jackson. She looked at a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. On the number 9 hitter, she swings through that one. Oh, now 1-2. Sacrifice bunt and a run scored back in the second inning. Her bunt and the ensuing error on that sacrifice scored Shantice Phillips. Outside, 1-2. So far, Heyer has set down 4 of the 5 hitters she's faced, 3 in a row. Last 3 were a foul out and 2 strikeouts. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. It's another strikeout for Heyer. Down goes Jackson, and that'll bring Jenna Laird to the dish for Missouri.
You can see it right now that Heyer is absolutely feeling it. She's got that drop ball going like we talked about before, and it's breaking off the end of the opposite side of the plate from where the batter is. She's doing a great job right now making sure that she gets ahead too.
First pitch to Laird. Now these are matchups I was really looking forward to. Heyer versus Laird and Honnold. And we've got Laird at the plate now, looked at a strike. Laird is ready. Here is the 0-1, that missed, down and away, 1-1.
It's always interesting to see these matchups of power against power. We see Heyer coming off 3-time MVC Pitcher of the Week in a row, and then we see Jenna Laird, who has had an outstanding season, just below 400. It's one of these battles that it could go any way. It could either go the batter's way, get a base hit, or it could go the pitcher's way, and she could get that strikeout or that weak pop-up or ground out.
1 ball, 2 strikes now on Laird. Heyer's ready, winds, delivers. Swing and a tap foul. We'll do it again. Jenna Laird has struck out just 8 times all season.
And 3 of those came in 1 game last weekend against Auburn. So before that Auburn series, she was seeing the ball extremely well.
Got a piece, stays alive. You got a strikeout pitcher in the circle. You've got a hitter at the plate who doesn't strike out. I mean, these are the battles you look forward to in games like this. Who is going to win this one? Higher to Laird, and Laird stays alive. I feel like last week against Drake, we talked a little bit about the good hitters who put the ball in play. They waste great pitches and then find a good one at some point to drive someone.
A lot of the times with these 1-2, 0-2 counts, pitchers are going to try and nibble off of the zone and just try and find a good pitch that's going to get her out. Like we just saw right there, Higher comes back changing speeds with her drop ball going down, getting that big strikeout of Jenna Laird to end the inning.
Get all your faves like an order of small fries for just a few bucks. Only on the McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Over here. Cap, can I get a response to the trade rumors?
Trade. Trades means moving, man. We talking about moving? Moving means contractors, inspectors, strangers judging my carpet. What we talking about, staging? We talking about a faux ficus. A faux ficus. Nobody's gonna bring a faux ficus into my house.
You could use Open Door. Sell your house directly to them. It's easy.
I guess we're moving.
Cap.
What you gonna ask me about next, man? Practice?
It's been all Missouri in this one. A 2-run homer in the first by Alex Honnold, opposite field. Put the Tigers up 2-0. Then in the second inning, a great sacrifice bunt by Peyton Jackson. The ball gets thrown away. Shantice Phillips, who had doubled, comes in to score. That made it 3-0. A sacrifice fly later in the inning made it 4-0. And that's where we stand right now as we head to the top of the fifth. For Missouri, Weber, 4 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts for the Tigers. And she will give way to Megan Schumacher, the senior right-hander from New York. 5'7", stands in the circle, ready to go as we head to the fifth. First pitch is a ball. Schumacher this year, this is her 12th appearance, her 11th out of the bullpen. 2-1, a 3.79 earned run average, 20 in a third inning, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. She also has an effective drop pitch that, if she can control, is tough to hit.
Yeah, that has been what she has been going to for the last 4 years that she's been here, has been that drop ball. It's very, very effective at times, but she has had some control issues, which has not been able to keep her in the game for some time. When she has been effective and has been on, she's almost unhittable. But when she is out of control and doesn't have her best stuff, that's when she seems to be getting a lot of hits hit off of her.
The first hitter of the inning was Taylor Hogan. She bounces out to Kara Daly, and that brings in Brooke Snyder, who's 0 for 1 with a fly out to center. The thing about Schumacher, too, standing at 5'7", there's a little bit of an imposing factor with her in the circle. She is an imposing figure out there. Standing at 5'7", throwing in the 60s. First pitch misses, ball 1. The thing you have to keep an eye on, though, is she's now fallen behind both hitters in the inning.
And that's what we talked about before, is that control issue. When she does get behind these hitters, then she has to start throwing a little bit over the heart of the plate. So it is very important for Schumacher to get ahead of these hitters, get them over the plate, so then that way she can pitch whatever she wants after that.
There's a single to right field for Brooke Snyder, and that brings in Sammy Moss. Moss popped out to Kara Daly. This was a good piece of hitting by Snyder. Just went right where the pitch was, took it the opposite way in between first and second base for a 1-out single. Nothing fancy, but just a good piece of hitting.
And I wouldn't even say that Schumacher missed her spot there. That was just a better piece of hitting by Brooke Snyder.
Moss, the lefty, stands in. Daly a couple of feet in and guarding the line over at third. Second baseman Gallagher is shaded towards the bag. And there's room out in right center here for Moss as Honnold is shaded into left center in the outfield. Here's the 1-0. Swinging, foul. first base side. We're in the top of the 5th. 3 hits for Northern Iowa. They have 1 out. They trail 4-0. Schumacher delivers off the hands, a hard ground ball foul. We'll do it again. 1-2. Tigers with a rough weekend at Auburn. In these midweek games, especially against a quality opponent, this would be a really, really good win if the Tigers can hold on here.
It's going to look really good on this schedule. Yes, UNI is a Missouri Valley team, not a Power 5 team, but they are still very good in their conference this year. So it's going to be a huge win if Missouri was able to get it out on their schedule. When the committee looks at the end of the year, they're going to look at games like this to see how they did against maybe those non-Power 5 teams, to see if they were able to come out and have great showings, or if that's one of the things that maybe they're not good enough to make it in the tournament just because they didn't have the best outings against maybe some of these lower level teams.
Schumacher made a tough play there on a slow roller, stayed with it, scooped it over to first. So there's 2 down with a runner on at second. And here is Darren Lamprecht. She looks at a strike. On the flip side of that, Northern Iowa, a win for them against Missouri is a huge resume builder, right?
Huge, especially on the route that they've been going right now, being 6-0 in conference to start the year. If they can get a Power 5 win like this, the committee is only going to look at this, even if UNI doesn't win their conference tournament, maybe they will get in that large bid because of the wins like this if they were to get it over Missouri.
1 ball, 1 strike here on Lamprecht. There's 2 outs. This is the second time in this game Northern Iowa has had a runner in scoring position. High, 2-1. The last time this happened, it was the second inning. Dodge led off the inning with a double and was left there by Jordan Weber. Schumacher trying to leave Snyder at second base here. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Opponents hitting .306 against Megan this year. Here's the next pitch. Oh, what a pitch, right at the knees. Strike 2 called. Fooled Lamprecht.
Drop ball on the inside part of the corner. There's nothing Lamprecht could have done. Schumacher hit her spot exactly where it needed to be in order for it to be a strike, but not too far inside.
So now the 2-2 pitch from Schumacher. Swing and a miss! And Schumacher gets out of the top of the 5th unharmed. We head to the bottom half. Missouri leads 4-0.
You will get a full fill of softball. They are trophy hunting. This is a team that can beat you from the top of the order to the bottom. Look at this! Megan for Rainbow! Tiara Jennings grand slam!
Come and play my game.
Honnold, Crenshaw, and Daly to face UNI's ace, Samantha Heyer. First pitch, a strike. Heyer has faced 7 hitters, set down 6, and struck out 4 of those 6. The only player to reach was Gallagher via a walk in the 3rd. There's another strike, 0-2.
It just doesn't seem like Missouri has the same confidence that they did at the beginning of the game facing Packard, but now that there's a new pitcher and it doesn't seem like the information's being spread maybe as much, and a lot of the times these hitters have been guessing about what's coming next against Heyer.
Outside, 1-2. Last inning, the bottom of the 4th, Missouri was set down in order for the first time in this game. Tap back to Heyer. She makes a nice play, almost scooped it over the first baseman Lamprecht's head on the way to first. That was close.
first solid contact from Missouri, but again, Higher just better there, and she might have released that one just a little bit too early, but she still ended up getting the out there.
Nice reaction play in the circle there too by Higher. Right back up the middle. Here's Crenshaw. Looks at a ball. She has no official at bat today, but she's been productive. A walk and a sacrifice fly with an RBI.
Which is what Coach Larissa Anderson has wanted to see from Julia Crenshaw, is getting a little bit more production out of her, getting her back to where she was at the beginning of the year when she was absolutely mashing the ball. She hasn't done that in the past few weeks, but she's had productive at-bats today. Got on base with a walk and then ended up scoring a run on a sac fly in the second as well. So far, great job by her.
That missed 2-1. The strike she just fouled back, she took a good hard swing. Fouled it right back to the screen. So it's 2-1. Outfield deep. Center fielder just 2 steps in front of the track in center field. Crenshaw off the hands, right side. Lamprecht couldn't get there. Falls harmlessly out of play. We'll do it again, 2-2. You see the outfielders deep for Northern Iowa. Left field, right field, and center field, all straight away, but playing Crenshaw deep. Ground ball to second. Scooped up there and fired across by the second baseman, Hogan. So there's 2 down now here in the 5th. That's now 7 in a row set down by Higher.
But we are seeing some adjustments from the Missouri hitters. Both of them have squared up. Those last 2 balls just hit them a little bit too much into the ground. But this is good to see on the Missouri side. Means they are actually starting to see Higher.
First pitch high and away to Kara Daly. Daly 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Daly's done a much better job over her 5 games. She has 28 strikeouts this year, but only 4 over her last 5 games coming in.
A lot of those came from the beginning of the year when Kara Daly wasn't quite seeing the ball as well as she is right now. She is starting to find her groove, strike out less, make a lot better contact, but she has had one today, but she's looking to get that base hit, in which she has been searching for.
And she's been so much better lately that she has taken the team lead in RBIs over the last couple of weeks. She now has 30.
And in the 4-hole position, that's exactly what you want to see, being able to drive in those runs. And when you have Jenna Laird and Alex Honnold who are getting on base very consistently, you need someone right behind them that will hit them in, and Kara Daly has done that.
Ooh, 2-2. High fastball called a strike by the home plate umpire, Susan Eads.
Yes, it might have been high on a lot of people, but on Kara Daly, that was probably exactly right at her belt level. So she is 6 foot, so she does have a bigger strike zone.
Swinging a grounder to third, fielded cleanly and fired across by the third baseman, Snyder. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the 5th. Head to the 6th, 4-0 Missouri. 4 runs on 3 hits for the Tigers. They lead Northern Iowa, I should say, 4-0. No runs on 3 hits for the Panthers. Honnold got the scoring started with that 2-run homer in the first. And Missouri has held ever since. Great pitching today from Jordan Weber, and now Megan Schumacher, who's come in and thrown a shutout in.
And this is what you want to see from these Missouri hitters, is keeping the Missouri offense in the game. So far, the offense has done a really good job of making sure that they get runs across, and then the pitching staff doesn't have to worry about much or be quite as tight just because they do have a bigger lead now.
Top of the order here for Northern Iowa. If they're going to make a push here in the 6th, now would be the time. It's Sanders, Papillo, and Parks for the Panthers. Sanders is 1 for 2 with a single. Here's the pitch. Great location. Schumacher has impressed so far out of the bullpen, locating very well early.
And Schumacher doesn't get a ton of opportunities. She mainly comes in relief, coming behind a Jordan Weber or a Lauren Krings because she is down in the zone compared to the other two who are mainly up in the zone. So this is a very good compliment coming in from Jordan Weber, who is maybe low 50s or upper 50s, low 60s with her rise ball, but now you have Schumacher who throws 65 to 68 with a drop ball. So very good compliment for her two starters.
It's 0-2 on Sanders, and she fouls that one off, stays alive. And you had mentioned if she can get ahead, she's tough. And she has been ahead most of these hitters since she's come into the game, and she's really needs to continue that because these top three hitters are really good for UNI. It's 0-2. Schumacher delivers. In the dirt, outside, 1-2. Good waist pitch there. Sanders this year came into the game hitting .282. Her on-base percentage high at .446. Grounder, first base. That is the Tiger first baseman, Katie Chester, with an unassisted play. One down here in the sixth.
Schumacher was working all outside in that pitch until this last one where she decided to come back in and get that weak ground ball. So great job changing up locations and using her drop ball to make sure that these UNI hitters are staying off balance.
Here's Papillo. She's 0 for 2, struck out and flew out the left. First pitch, swing, miss. She took a big cut at that, strike one.
And for a freshman, Papillo takes some big swings. She does not waste any energy whatsoever. She goes up, takes big hacks at all of these. She ends up missing on some of them, but when she does get a hold of it, she's done a very good job with them this year.
Rips one up the middle. That's going to roll into the gap in right center, and Papillo will end up with a double. The freshman, a one-out double, and she tattooed that ball back up the box.
Like we said, she does not waste any energy or movement. That is a very small, quick, compact swing that we see from Papillo right there. And with Schumacher throwing in the upper 60s, you can't get long on your swing. And Papillo does exactly what she needs to, hits it right back up the middle, doesn't do too much, but just finds a way to put the ball in play and swings it as hard as she can.
Northern Iowa has now out-hit Missouri 4-3 in this game. There's a strike. But the Tigers have the 4 runs and they lead 4-0. But Panthers are threatening here. Madison Parks, UNI's number 3 hitter, standing in. She's driven in 15 this year, hit 3 home runs, 6 doubles. Back up the middle, Schumacher knocks it down. Can she make the play? And she does by half a step. That's the second time the ball has glanced off of Schumacher, and she has stayed with it and made the play.
Yeah, great job by Schumacher right here. She knocks it down, very hard hit ball, but she doesn't give up on the play. She picks it up, throws it as quickly as she can, ends up getting the runner at first base, which is a huge out for Schumacher.
So now the Panthers have a runner at third, 2 down for the cleanup hitter, Maya Dodge. Dangerous hitter. At the plate. First pitch missed outside. Wouldn't surprise me if the Tigers are a little careful with Maya Dodge. There's 2 bases open. Dodge is hitting .353 coming into today's action, .357 now after the double earlier today. Swing and a miss. She was ahead of that ball.
This is also something for Coach Anderson to give Schumacher a challenge like this against the best hitter to see what she can do. Attack the zone, hit the corners, see if she can try to get the UNI's best hitter out. Instead of just always pitching around her, maybe give her a challenge to see what Schumacher can do.
With a 4-run lead, it is a luxury to be able to do that, right? Because you give her this challenge and you never know, at some point during the SEC season, I'll bet Schumacher will be back in a similar spot facing a really tough hitter.
Absolutely.
Curved outside, 2-1. Dodge doubled in the second, struck out looking in the fourth. That was Jordan Weber's last strikeout of the game before being relieved. Fouled off the end of the bat. Count even now, 2-2. Runner on at third for UNI. Trying to get a run across. They trail 4-0. It's a big pitch for the Panthers and a big pitch for Megan Schumacher. 2-2. Here it comes. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Laird charges, scoops, fires! Safe! Dodge beat the throw. And I think Laird had a little bit of trouble getting it out of the glove on the slow roller.
Yeah, she did. She did the correct play and charged it right away off of the bat. But then we see right here, it's a spinny right off of it. And it might have just crawled up Jenna Laird's arm just a little bit to give Dodge that extra step to get on base.
So the Panthers are on the board, and Schumacher did her job. She got the ground ball, but you're right. I think it had some weird spin on it because it was hit. It was rolling so slowly off the end of the bat that when Laird picked it up, you're right, it may have just rolled right up her wrist a little bit.
And we saw it right when it came off her bat. It actually changed directions. It was going right at Schumacher. And then because of the spin on it, most likely because Dodge hit it off the end of her bat, then it started spinning towards Jenna Laird. And that was one of those that you either field it cleanly or you don't. And Jenna Laird fielded it cleanly. It just rolled up her arm a little bit too much, and UNI was able to get a run across.
Anna Kelly is at the plate. It's a 1-1 count. The designated player for UNI standing in from the right side. Swing, and she lifts one into left, but right at Shantice Phillips. And that ends the top of the 6th for UNI. They score a run. It's 4-1 Missouri.
All right, let's have a good start.
Mic'd up Monday.
Yes! Heck yeah!
The crowd is going to go nuts.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead! Yes!
All in all day, whatever it is, whatever it takes. Do not be afraid to be great.
Four 4-1 Missouri. We head to the bottom of the 6th. For the Tigers, it'll be Gallagher, Chester, and Frizzell due up for Missouri. Facing Samantha Heyer, who first pitch ball has not allowed a hit in her 3 relief innings. She's faced 10 batters, struck out 4. The only base runner to reach was this hitter right here, Maddie Gallagher. Drew a walk in the 3rd. Ball 2.
I think that this inning is actually going to tell what the Missouri offense is going to be like this next weekend against Alabama. It'd be really good if they could get maybe a couple hits from those that are at the bottom of the lineup, so then they can get that confidence back going into this weekend facing an All-American pitcher in Montana Fouts.
3-0 on Gallagher. Gallagher has worked the count on Heyer in both of her at-bats. Drew a walk, as I mentioned, the first time. Here's the 3-0. Taking all the way. Strike, 3-1. Oh, on the outside corner. And a great frame there by Papillo.
That was a great pitcher's pitch by Heyer. There's no way that Maddie Gallagher could have done what she wanted to do as a hitter with that pitch. So great job by Heyer getting back into this count.
Payoff pitch on its way. Tap foul. Do it again.
I actually believe that is the first time that Maddie Gallagher has swung all day long. She got hit by a pitch in that first inning, right on the elbow. And then the next one was a 5-pitch walk. And now that was the first time, I believe this is almost 10 pitches later, that she has finally swung the bat in this game.
This one is grounded to second. Down goes Gallagher, 4-3 on the putout by the second baseman Hogan. And we have a pinch hitter here for Missouri. Megan Mall will stand in for Katie Chester. Chester struck out twice in this game. So Megan Mall will come in and pinch hit. Ball for the Tigers this year, hitting 185, the senior from Eureka, Missouri. Looks at a strike. 4 doubles, 3 RBIs this year for Maul. 8 walks, a .389 on base percentage.
And Megan Maul has been one of those players who has rotated into that catching position. The Missouri Tigers haven't quite had one of those solid catchers all year long that they've been able to rely on. It's been between 3 different catchers. Obviously, Julia Crenshaw is behind the plate right now, but Megan Maul has gotten a lot of opportunities so far this year, and Larissa Anderson still has a bunch of confidence in her to believe that she is going to do something well and do something productive for the team.
That rise ball missed high. Maul didn't chase. 1-2 is the count. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. Missouri up 3. Hires delivery. Swing and a lifted foul back here right above us. 1-2. UNI team is going to be a force in the Missouri Valley Conference. Already, that's a check swing foul. Already starting off strong at 6-0. We mentioned it earlier. They've outscored their opponents in MVC play 48-3, and 41 runs scored in Missouri Valley Conference play over their last 4 games. Low, good eye. Megan Maul held up 2-2.
And on top of that, they have really stuck their own today against a Missouri team in the SEC. They come up so far, they're going to be facing Iowa State again, who they had 2 losses to at the beginning of the year. But their bats and their pitching is going to take them a really long way in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Maul strikes out, and there's 2 down. So they get Bradley coming up this weekend. And then Iowa State, another Power 5 opponent. And as Brooke just mentioned, they played Iowa State early in the year in their within those first 6 games of the season where they were 0-6. Then they travel to Indiana State after that. Tap foul. And it's 6-0 in the MVC, tied for first. But just dominating in their first 2 series. And that, I think, with as well as their offense has been performing, you've got to give the Missouri pitching staff credit in this game for holding this offense down.
And that is what has been a constant factor so far this year for Missouri, has been their pitching staff. So it's great to see that they're coming up here big against a good team in Northern Iowa.
So Frizzell hits a ball into left field that ends up dropping, and they're going to give her a hit. A double for Frizzell. That ball was sinking on the left fielder and just got under Dodge's glove. So Frizzell stands at second base, and I assume we're going to get a pinch runner for Frizzell. Coming off the bench, it looks like number 99, Kaylee Langer, the utility freshman, utility player from Liberty, Missouri, will come run for Frizzell. Langer, this is her 12th appearance. She scored 6 runs this year, swiped a base. She's doing the running for Frizzell. And Shantice Phillips is the hitter for Missouri. First pitch missed. That is the first hit off of Samantha Heyer by the Tigers. And Frizzell hit it hard.
That's one of those things that Coach Jacobs might go back and say, well, why didn't I start higher? Well, he might have seen something in Packard that made her have the advantage to get this start. But so far, Heyer has done a great job coming back in, showing us why she is that 3-time MVC pitcher of the week.
2 balls and no strikes on Phillips. That's a good pitch. Inside corner at the knees, 2-1. 3 2/3 so far for Heyer. 5 strikeouts, just 1 hit allowed. You just saw it. That was Frizzell's hit. A double into left. Off the hands and a little slow roller to short. Scooped up and fired across. by the shortstop, Sanders. Tigers leave a base runner. We head to the 7th, 4-1 Missouri. Your new pitcher for the Tigers is the left-hander, number 78, Taylor Pinnell, the freshman from Lee's Summit, who already has 3 saves this year. A 2.52 earned run average, 8 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks. Opponents hitting just 194 against Pinnell, and I know in talking to Coach Anderson, she really speaks highly of Pinnell and the future she has on this roster.
She does. She talks about the 2 freshmen in the circle between Taylor Pinnell and Sierra Harrison, who gets a bulk of the start during the midweek games, and she believes that these 2 are going to be the future of Mizzou pitching, especially Sierra Harrison. But Taylor Pinnell has done a really good job this year at getting these save opportunities. She already has quite a few on the year. She's going to come with this curveball, but also has a very, very good changeup that is very deceptive to hitters.
One and one on the leadoff hitter, Taylor Hogan, here in the 7th. Grounder up the middle. Pinnell snags it with the right hand, and there's 1 out here in the 7th. Just reached out and snared that with the glove. Pinnell looking for her 4th save. Brooke Snyder, 1 for 2, a single. Riley Frizzell is at first base for the Tigers here in this 7th inning. She was the designated player, and then after Maul hit for Chester, Frizzell came out, off-speed pitch. What a great pitch by Pinnell to start the at-bat here against Snyder.
Talked about that before. Her changeup is so deceiving to hitters. They think that it's going to come off as a curveball, but instead is an off-speed pitch, and Brooke Snyder gets fooled on that one in the dirt.
Swing and a miss. That had a little bite to it as well. 0-2.
Another changeup, 2 changeups in a row in the dirt. That is how good her changeup is, and we're going to keep talking about it every single time that she throws it, because again, it has such great movement on it, and it is so different from her curveball that she throws.
Snyder singled and flew out in this game. She's down in the hole, 0-2. Here's the pitch from Pinnell, and another changeup, 3 straight, and she strikes out Snyder.
You never, ever see that as a batter. So when you get 3 changeups in a row, especially with how good Taylor Pinnell is throwing it right now, it is almost impossible to hit. She comes back with this one, maybe a little bit higher up, but it drops off the plate and gets even lower, and Snyder had no chance on that one.
Also had a little curve to it coming left to right, didn't it?
It did, and that's what happens when you throw a curveball as well as she does, and then also her changeup comes off of it, so it's a little bit of a off-speed curveball that gets these hitters off balance.
First base umpire Chelsea Clark says no dice as they check the swing of Sammy Moss, so it's ball 1 on Moss. She pumps a strike in there, 1-1. That was the check swing on that pitch was 4 straight changeups, and then she comes back with a fastball there.
And it almost seems that when you've seen so many changeups in a row, then that fast pitch seems extra fast. So we hear that pop coming off of Julia Crenshaw's glove only because we've seen 4 changeups in a row.
Low and away, 2-1. This is Addison McElwraith pinch hitting, by the way, standing in from the right side. McElwraith hitting for Moss. Moss 0 for 2 in this game. And McElwraith trying to extend it for the Panthers. 2 down in the 7th. Good frame by Crenshaw. Crenshaw wanted that strike. She held it a little longer, waiting for the strike call and didn't get it. 3-1.
You see her looking back and asking the home plate umpire, where exactly was that pitch? And she just thought that it would have gone over for a strike, but apparently the home plate umpire did not agree with it.
Ball 4. If there's one nitpicky thing when we're going to talk about the Tigers hurler here, Taylor Pinnell, it is the walk. She's walked 4 in 8 innings coming into this game. she's going to have to cut down on that a little bit because opponent's batting average is 194 coming into this game, so she can get outs. She just can't walk anybody, especially in a game like this. 7th inning, up 3 runs.
And that's just comes with more experience. Taylor Pennell being a freshman, she used to be able to throw every single pitch over the heart of the plate in high school and travel ball because no one would be able to hit her. But now that she comes to college, she has figured out that it is not always like that. You have to hit the corners. You have to be able to throw that off speed for a strike. But because of that, her control issues have been off a little bit. She will learn as she gets older that hitting the corners will be very, very important for her, but it just takes time.
First pitch sails high, ball 1 to Lamprecht. Running for McElwraith is number 5, Maggie Erpelding. So there's number 5, she's on at first. Lamprecht at the plate. Lamprecht is 0 for 2. There's a strike, 1-1. Tigers lead 4-1, top of the 7th. 4 runs on 4 hits for Missouri, 1 run on 5 hits for UNI. And a really, really good midweek test here for the Tigers against one of the best teams in the MVC. Arguably the best team in the MVC. Strike 2, 1-2. The Tigers are a strike away from taking this game against the Panthers. Pennell. Crenshaw gets the sign. And calls timeout. A little confusion there on the sign coming in from the dugout. Pennell was ready, but I don't know that Crenshaw was ready for that pitch. Now she is. UNI down to their last strike. Check swing, and no, she doesn't go around. We'll do it again, 2-2.
Try to get her to chase up the outside part of this plate as a curveball, but you can see she doesn't. Ooh, that was a close one, but I don't think her bat head completely went over the plate, so great call by the first base umpire.
Swing and a miss on the changeup, and that wins it for the Tigers. That's the 5th base runner left by UNI, and Missouri with a midweek victory, 4-1 over Northern Iowa. And boy, the Tigers, you know, they got some base runners in this game. Even though they only had 4 hits, they did get 9 base runners in this game. And Jordan Weber pitched a gem.
She did. She came out and she did exactly what she needed to do. Got ahead of these batters, hit her spots with that rise ball and that drop ball combination. But this offense finally got into a groove today. They were able to finally get base hits when they needed to, get those runs across, get that confidence back in them going into SEC play again this weekend.
So the Tigers bounce back and win 4-1. They'll take on Alabama on Friday. My name's Randy Molman for Brooke Wilmus and our SEC Network production crew. We say so long from Columbia, Missouri. The final score once again, Missouri beats UNI 4-1.